Have you ever been told that oatmeal is the perfect breakfast for seniors? You might be surprised to learn that when combined with certain common foods, it could quietly harm your health. In today's video, we'll gently uncover the truth behind this daily habit and what every older adult should know. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more thoughtful, health-focused stories. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone you care about, because small changes can bring lifelong peace and energy. At 6:15 every morning, Henry would slowly rise from his bed, the sunlight creeping through his sheer curtains just enough to bathe his small kitchen in gold. His kettle whistled cheerfully, as it always had, and the scent of cinnamon wafted into the air. This was his moment. A warm bowl of oatmeal, a sprinkle of brown sugar, a few fruits from the fridge, and perhaps a spoonful of yogurt on top. Henry had eaten oatmeal every morning since his retirement 15 years ago. It was a ritual of comfort, routine, and care. And why not? Everyone said oatmeal was good for the heart, good for digestion, and perfect for someone in their golden years. Doctors recommended it. Nutritionists praised it. Health articles everywhere called it the miracle breakfast for older adults. But one winter afternoon, after a dizzy spell while shopping and several days of stomach discomfort, Henry found himself sitting across from a quiet-faced nutritionist at the community clinic. He wasn't expecting anything unusual, maybe a suggestion to cut back on salt or to drink more water. Instead, the expert leaned in gently and said, "Henry, it's not the oatmeal that's causing your issues. It's what you're adding to it." This surprised him. How could something so small, a topping here, a mix in there, possibly lead to real harm? But what unfolded in that conversation, and later in Henry's own journey of rediscovery, revealed a surprising truth that many seniors simply don't know. When oatmeal is combined with certain everyday ingredients, its health benefits can quietly turn into health risks. Let's walk through Henry's story together, not just as a tale of one man's breakfast, but as a thoughtful reflection on how even well-meaning choices can go awry with age, and how small adjustments can protect and even transform our health as we grow older. The myth of the perfect food, oatmeal at its core, is indeed a nutritious food, rich in fiber, gentle on digestion, and helpful in stabilizing blood sugar levels. It has rightly earned its reputation as a healthy staple, especially for seniors. It helps with cholesterol, supports heart health, and even offers a slow, lasting release of energy throughout the morning. But the human body changes with age. After 60, our digestive enzymes weaken, insulin sensitivity shifts, and the body becomes more vulnerable to inflammation and nutrient imbalances. Foods that once nourished us without a second thought can start to affect us differently. This is where Henry's story, and many others like his, begins to unfold. His oatmeal itself wasn't the problem, but the companions he gave it, those little additions that seemed harmless, were quietly turning his bowl into a source of discomfort and hidden health strain. The first realization, the sugary saboteurs. In Henry's bowl, brown sugar was the sweet note that made oatmeal a joy to eat. He never measured exactly, just a sprinkle, sometimes two. Over time, he began to add honey instead, thinking it was healthier, then maple syrup, sometimes even fruit yogurt for that creamy texture. But sugar, whether from brown crystals or golden syrup, was adding a burden to his body that he could no longer process with ease. His nutritionist gently explained that after 60, even natural sugars can spike blood sugar levels quickly, leading to energy crashes, insulin resistance, and inflammation. Henry began noticing that on mornings when he made sweeter bowls, he felt more tired by noon. His stomach also didn't feel quite right. A quiet bloating, a strange fullness. These were his body's ways of speaking up. And so, with a bit of reluctance, he began cutting back on sugars. He learned to enjoy the natural sweetness of banana slices or cinnamon. The cravings didn't disappear overnight, but within weeks, he noticed something remarkable. He felt lighter, steadier, more in control of his energy. The hidden fatigue of dairy additions. The next surprise came with his beloved spoonful of yogurt. Henry had always loved that cool, tangy contrast against the warmth of the oats. It made his breakfast feel like dessert. But dairy, especially full-fat or flavored yogurts, can cause hidden issues for seniors. As we age, many of us lose the enzyme lactase, which helps digest lactose in milk. The result? Unseen digestive strain, bloating, mild nausea, discomfort. Even when dairy doesn't trigger immediate symptoms, it can stir up low-grade inflammation in those over 60, especially in joints and the gut. This type of inflammation may not be dramatic, but it adds up over time. Once Henry switched to lactose-free options and kept dairy to an occasional treat rather than a daily ritual, the persistent tightness in his belly eased. He felt clearer in the mornings, less sluggish. The fiber overload from mixing in raw fruits the wrong way, you'd think adding fruits like apples or pears would only make oatmeal healthier. But timing and combinations matter more than people realize. Henry used to slice apples into his bowl, sometimes with the skin still on. They were crunchy, fresh, and full of fiber. But too much raw, insoluble fiber, especially first thing in the morning, can be taxing on older digestion. As stomach acid production naturally decreases with age, the body struggles more with breaking down raw produce quickly, especially when it's mixed into a warm, cooked meal like oatmeal. This mismatch, soft oats combined with tough raw fruit, can slow down digestion and create gas or discomfort, even if the ingredients are technically healthy. Once Henry learned to lightly steam his fruits or switch to soft options like berries or bananas, the difference was night and day. He still got the nutrients, but his body no longer had to wrestle to extract them. The problem with nut butters and healthy fats in disguise. Another common mix in Henry loved was a spoonful of peanut butter. He'd read that healthy fats were good for the brain, and it made his breakfast rich and satisfying. But store-bought nut butters, unless carefully selected, often come with added oils, sugars, and preservatives. Moreover, as he got older, Henry's gallbladder wasn't working as efficiently. Rich fats, even in modest amounts, made his stomach feel heavy, his digestion sluggish. For days, when he included peanut butter, he noticed he'd skip lunch, not because he was full, but because his system hadn't finished processing breakfast. His nutritionist explained that while fats are essential, older adults benefit more from lighter sources, like ground flaxseed or chia seeds, which offer omega-3s and fiber without overwhelming the digestive system. Henry learned a better balance. A teaspoon of ground seeds, soaked overnight, became his new favorite. It offered texture, gentle nourishment, and none of the burdens. The trap of protein powders and fortified health boosts. In an effort to stay strong and maintain muscle, Henry once began adding protein powders to his oats. A neighbor had recommended it for energy and strength. But within weeks, he felt more bloated than ever. What he hadn't realized was that many commercial protein powders are loaded with additives, artificial sweeteners, thickeners, and chemicals that aren't friendly to aging kidneys or delicate stomach linings. These hidden ingredients can strain the body silently, especially in those over 65. Henry didn't need synthetic boosts. What he needed was simple, digestible nourishment. When he switched to adding a boiled egg on the side or a small handful of soaked nuts, his strength didn't waver, and his gut thanked him. The surprise culprit: salt from hidden sources. Lastly, there was the issue of salt. Not the table salt Henry avoided, but the hidden sodium in things like flavored oats, preserved fruit toppings, or pre-mixed spice blends. For years, he used instant oatmeal packets, thinking they were just oats and flavoring. But many had over 200 milligrams of sodium per serving, not counting his additional toppings. As a senior with borderline blood pressure, this hidden salt burden was significant. Salt in excess increases the risk of heart strain, water retention, and fatigue, all of which Henry had brushed off as normal aging. Only when he switched to plain oats and controlled the flavors himself did he feel the cloud begin to lift. What Henry did differently, and what you can too: Henry's mornings are different now. He still wakes early, still listens to the kettle whistle, still savors the quiet of dawn. But his oatmeal has changed, not in spirit, but in content. He now cooks steel-cut oats gently, adds warm blueberries, a pinch of turmeric, sometimes a drizzle of flax oil or almond milk, and he eats with awareness, gratitude, and gentleness. He discovered that the key isn't giving up the foods you love, it's understanding how your body changes and how to adapt with care, not fear. That breakfast isn't just about filling your belly, it's about starting your day with wisdom. Your own morning matters. You too may love oatmeal, and rightly so. But it's worth reflecting. What do you put in it? Have you ever paused to notice how you feel after eating it? Do you find energy or heaviness, comfort or discomfort? The truth is, after 60, your body deserves extra kindness, and that means paying attention to not just what you eat, but how you combine foods, when you eat them, and how they make you feel hours later. Even simple meals can hold secrets, and even small changes can unlock unexpected relief, clarity, and vitality. The invitation to rediscover your routine. This story isn't about fear. It's not about blaming a bowl of oatmeal or warning against joy. It's an invitation to observe more closely, to listen more gently to your body's whispers. Because in every warm spoonful, there is a chance to nourish not just your stomach, but your heart. To give yourself the best support for this precious season of life. To age not just with strength, but with serenity. And perhaps tomorrow morning, as you stand by your kettle and gaze at your oats, you'll remember Henry's story. You'll smile softly, and you'll choose what feels kindest to your body. Not just what tastes good, but what makes you feel whole. Because that, in the end, is what food should do, especially when we've lived long enough to know that real nourishment begins with listening.